Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization, and today is video number 6 in our series of how to construct a proper hypertrophy mesocycle. And the way I do it nowadays, and I do it no other way, is to use the RP Hypertrophy app, which I helped to design. And I think it's awesome, and I think you'll really love it. The thing is, though, is the app actually releases, full release, June 1st, which is coming up, like really soon. If you're seeing this video after June 1st, you click the same link in the description below in order to access the app. So give that a look. We're going to talk about the science and underlying philosophy of the multiple modalities you can use in your training. There's like 6 to 7 of them if you count Myo Rep Match as different than Myo Reps. We'll get to that in a bit. And all of them you could use with the app or without the app. But if you want to do a lot better and faster in training, then the app was designed exclusively to help you create, manage, execute, and benefit from hypertrophy programs. So here we go. So first up are straight sets. Straight sets is just a term for normal sets. Do a set of 5 to 30 repetitions. You rest a normal amount of time until your cardiovascular stress is low again. You're not breathing super heavy. You feel psychologically really strong. The synergist supportive muscles are not going to limit you on your next set, like your lower back on a squat or something like that, as the lower back is nice and healed. And then also the muscle in question can do at least another 5 repetitions in the next set if you started. So that amount of rest, which is usually like, a minute to 3 minutes in most situations. And then you go and do that set with the same amount of load. That's what a straight set is. And so on the hypertrophy app over here, we've got our dildo mesocycle. We can have, right now it says cambered bar bench press. We have one set with 135 pounds and we have a certain number of reps. So you do the set and then you enter in how many reps you got. And it tells you to press the check-in button when you're actually done. Then you say, you know what, I actually want to add a set. So you just go to add set and that's how easy it is. It adds a set and notice it's using the same weight because it assumes straight sets. And you do that set and you get, let's say, 7 repetitions, and then you go to town. We'll check these in later because the check-ins actually surface other features that we'll have in later videos. All right, that's cool, but hold on a second. Straight sets are awesome, but there's a set that's very similar to a straight set that is called a down set, and that's our next modality. So down sets are also just straight sets, but with lower weight. Why would you lower the weight? Well, usually you lower the weight something like 10 to 20% in order to often stay within the rep range that you want. Because as you fatigue, you may start to drop out of the rep range. Notice here, in the cambered bar bench, we did 9 reps and then we did 7. If we keep cranking along, we'll get close to 5 and under 5 real soon. And that's just generally not enough volume, not enough repetitions per set to be as hypertrophic. So we might want to decrease the weight. We have it at 135 right now. We might want to decrease the weight. Actually, well, let me delete this set and show you guys the feature. I'll show you the delete feature. So let's see, delete this exercise. Hopefully that works. Boom. All right, great. I'm trying to scroll with Scott, the video guy, has an Apple computer laptop that we're recording on, and the little scroll cursor button thingy is backwards, Apple. You did it backwards.
Dr. Mike, technically speaking, Apple was the first technology to market, and Windows is backwards.
Cool. Windows got it right. Han Solo shot first. He really did, didn't he, Scott, the video guy? He's a bad person. That's what you got to remember that. All right. So down sets is just you want to lower the weight. And you can lower the weight an arbitrary amount, but generally you want to lower the weight to stay in the same repetition range, or sometime you've had enough heavy training in an exercise, you actually think you're going to get a better stimulus to fatigue ratio going a little bit lighter. They could do a bunch of sets of 12 in the row, and then you're like, man, sets of like 18 to 20 will be really good. It'll fry me out. Now that I've got my heavy work in, I can go a little lighter. So what you do here, here's how you use in the app functionality. You go into a little menu that occurs with every single exercise, and you actually say duplicate exercise. And it's going to ask you if you want to repeat until the end of meso. You probably do because you don't want to do too much one-off stuff. The app can handle all the one-off stuff that you can throw it at, but the best way to train is consistency week over week. So yeah, I'm actually doing this every week. And then you hit duplicate exercise. Exercise is duplicated. All it does, it just slots in another set at a new weight that you want. So what you can do here is say, well, actually, okay, so we already had 135 pounds. I'm going to go lighter. Oop, I went up to 575. My bad. Damn, the Apple thing scrolls real fast. So let's say it's 100. And now you have 100. And boom, there it is. So 135 for 2 sets. We do 100. Or say we get, I don't know. I'm just going to use the manual drag. Apple computer, go fuck yourself. JK. So boom, we got that checked in and everything's good to go. That's it. That is how downsets work. And if you want to do another downset, you simply go here and you hit duplicate exercise again and it brings it up. Awesome. And that function of duplicating exercise, which really means it's the same exercise, but you can pick the weight differently again, takes us into our third modality, which is drop sets. Drop sets are just like downsets in every conceivable way, except for the fact that the rest time between the sets isn't normal as it is in downsets. It is constrained to something like, about 5 seconds. Because what you're trying to do is get really close to failure. You cannot do any more repetitions or many more repetitions when you get close to failure. So what you do is you reduce the weight such that you can get another 5 to 10 reps. And then reduce the weight again with no rest such that you can get another 5 to 10 reps. So typically we get 10 to 20% drops in weight over something like 3 to 6 different sets. And if you're going to do that, the way to keep track of it is really easy, and we can actually do a demo here with the barbell bent row. Let's say we have the barbell bent row, and we want to do a situation where we do drop sets. Now, that's probably not the greatest exercise to do drop sets with. You'll just get really tired. But, as another exercise, we would be jamming. So you know what? Here, we'll say this. And then we would say remove set, just to illustrate what it looks like with drop sets. So we'll say we'll start this exercise with 70 pounds, or even we'll go heavier. How about that? Oh boy, this is getting really crazy. 100 pounds, and it's 2 RIR is the goal. Great. Then what we do is we use the same function, which is going to be a workhorse for you, the duplicate exercise function. You only have to do this once because it'll stay around for the rest of your mesocycle. Now we have another set of barbell bent row with the weight we can choose. We go up here again. We hit duplicate exercise again. It's going to repeat again. Now we have 3. We go here again. We do duplicate exercise. Now we have 4. So if you do this before you show up to the gym or when you go to the gym, 100. And then we say, 100 was fine. I think I'm going to drop to 80. That's probably going to work for me. And then I'm going to drop to Apple computer, 60. And then after that, I'm going to drop to, the bar really. So, but we'll pretend this is some kind of cable machine or something, 40. And then all of a sudden, we have 100, a set at 100, a set at 80, a set at 60, and a set at 40. And as you go through the weeks of the app will periodize this for you. So it'll give you the same rep range targets again, or increase the reps by 1, or it'll ask you to go to 105 pounds next week, 85, 65, 45, and so on. And you can always add more sets to this or take sets away. Boom, drop set solved. So far you can do 3 things in the app: straight sets, down sets, drop sets. Let's see what else we got. All right, giant sets. Now, to be clear, I'm using the term giant set differently than most people would. Many people have called these marathon sets, but I think giant set also works. Giant sets are not where you do like 3 or 4 exercises in a row. That's a superset, period. Okay. You can't call it a giant set if it's multiple different exercises. It's a bunch of different sets. Giant set is when you set a really high rep target and you do a bunch of mini sets there to get to that rep target. So let's say I want to do 50 repetitions total. In our example here would just be like the cambered bar bench press. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to simplify it by removing a set. And so one set we have here, let's say we set the rep goal as 50. It's currently our topped out. Upgraded versions of the app, probably by the time you see this, we'll be able to go up to 100 reps. But don't worry, there's a workaround there if it doesn't do that. And let's say we have 135 pounds on the bar. What our goal is to do as many sets with normal rest breaks, 1 to 3 minutes, all the 4-factor rest model checked off, until we get to 50. Why? Why not just do 5 sets of 10? What the hell's wrong with us? Well, it could be 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever number you want. You pick the total rep goal to get the volume that you need. And then what happens is you don't have to focus on matching reps week to week to week. Why is that a bad thing? I thought it was a good thing. It is a good thing. But for some exercises on which you're really struggling with technique, you're really struggling with a mind-muscle connection, you find that when you try to use it like 10 last week, the app says I need to do 11 reps this week, I'm just trying to gun for those reps. And I have a real hard time detaching myself from trying super hard and focusing on the mind-muscle connection. When I focus on that, I forget, I start having trouble making sure I'm going hard enough to get where I need to go. And I just get so obsessed that I just start pushing hard and I lose all contact with my mind-muscle connection. With giant sets, you have 50 total reps to do. And it does not matter how many sets you do them in because nobody's counting, including you. All you count is the reps you get per set, and then you add them and you add them and you add them. So you say, okay, I got 25 reps, then I got another 5 reps, then I got another 5 reps, I'm up to 30. I guess I've got 20 more reps to go until I hit 50. In each one of those mini sets, you can stop whenever you want, which means that every single rep you can focus only on the technique and mind-muscle connection and not have to worry about thinking of pushing yourself hard. There is a time to push yourself hard, but don't worry, the volume will push you anyway. Once you're really clued in on that exercise, you can always switch to conventional training, straight sets, down sets, drop sets, all that stuff. But giant sets are a really great way to just get in a lot of work without a ton of pressure to match performance every time. And how do you do these? So the first thing you want to do is you want to add an exercise note. And you're going to type in giant set 40 reps. You're going to save that. And you are going to pin the note so it appears every single week. It'll also screw up these sets. Don't worry, we'll debug that. Giant set, and I spelled it wrong. Isn't that great? I'll just fix that right now. Look how easy this access is. By the way, this works identically on your phone and laptop, which is really nice. Here, I'm going to go and say, okay, I've got 40 as the rep goal. And because I know it's a giant set, I just keep going until I hit 40 reps. Next week, it'll come up and say giant set 40 reps. And next week you'll go in, and you go, aha, I want the progress. So I say it's, that's a little much. I say it's 45 reps. I update, and then I take this and I manually slide it to here. That's my new total rep target, and I do it all by myself. Now, if you absolutely have no interest in counting and adding reps in your head, you can use the duplicate exercise function to just add in another set of cambered bar rows, and you have a giant set labeled on all of them, and then you just go and do the mini set and have the weight the same in each one. Or actually, if the weight's the same in each one, I'm an idiot. You can just add sets if you'd like. So there's 2 different ways to do this. And you just, instead of saying 45, you got the 45 up here. You can do a set of, your first set is 38. Let's say your first set, you really went wild, is 32. Then, you say, okay, I need another, thing of 10. And then whatever, it adds up to 45 at the end. And then you can do it like that. The thing is, the auto-regulation of the app will try to increase this load for you or increase the rep goal for you. So you'll have to do a little bit of checking to see what your goal is every week and making sure that this all adds up. Super easy to do. And again, this isn't a huge advantage in training, but if you're really too focused on trying to match the reps, you can just go for the total. And here's the thing. Your reps next week, you can get 26 in the first set because you got so focused on a technique, you didn't want to push it ultra hard, or the reps got harder because your technique is so much better, because good technique makes the reps harder, not easier in bodybuilding, in hypertrophy training. In powerlifting, good technique makes the reps easier. In hypertrophy training, it's the other way around because you're exposing the muscle to more tension in a less advantageous position. So you got 26 here. Now all these just need to rise up to the rest of them, or you just add another set. Who cares? All you need is that 45 total. So that's pretty straightforward. All right. Next up are Myo Rep Sets. Myo Rep Sets. Let me illustrate another function. Just add a new exercise so this doesn't get confusing. Triceps. Why not? And we have a little menu here. Oh, it's a dildo press. Isn't that cool? I love it. Well, say we want to do a cable overhead tricep extension. Why not? And sure, we'll do it. Oh, not so long. And where is that going? I think it was shuttled down to the bottom. Perfect. Cable overhead tricep extension. And we want to do a Myo Rep set. What the hell is a Myo Rep set? Myo Reps are when you do a first set of 10 to 20, 15 to 20 repetitions. You rest 3 to 5 and or 5 to 10 seconds. There's a few different ways to skin the cat. The cat, by the way, hates all the ways. I think I've said that before. And then you rest a tiny little bit, and then you do another set and potentially another set. Each one of those breaks is the Myo Rep rest break, and each one of those sets is a Myo Rep mini set. And what you do is you take multiple approaches close to failure. So it'll look like you get 15 reps, then you get 7, then you get 4, then you get 3, then you're done. How many rest breaks you take is arbitrary. It's up to you. The first time you ever do Myo Reps, I would recommend just one break. So you do 15 reps or something, 17, you rest 3 to 5 seconds, shake it out, and then do another set of like close to failure. Let's say it's 6. Just that alone, you did 2 sets, but it took you almost the same amount of time as one set. But you had 2 distinct approaches near failure, which means it's going to be more hypertrophic than one set, but take almost the same amount of time as one set. Because if you rested a full amount of time and you did all those reps over again called lead-in reps, you did 10 reps and then the last 4 were hard in the second set, those first 10 reps absolutely do stimulate muscle growth. But by a small margin, not as much as the last 5 repetitions, which are the money. So Myo Reps really take advantage of the fact that when you train closer to failure, the result's slightly more muscle growth stimulus. So the first set, you get rid of all of your lead-in reps. All the sets after, be it 1, 2, 3, or however many Myo Rep sets you want to do, all the ones after are real close to failure. And that means they're usually going to be sets of 5 to 10, often closer to 5 and even a little less than 5. But that's okay. We usually say you don't train with less than 5 reps. That's if they're 5 heavy reps. And if you just do one set at a time and rest. These, you can do sets of 3. And if they're all the 3 reps are the ones very close to failure, and it's with a load that is really like your 20 rep max, it's super stimulative. So the way that you would do Myo Reps is you would, of course, add an exercise note and just say Myo Rep 2, we'll start with 1 break. 1 break. So that means that you do as many reps as you can, rest, spin the note, and after that, you do another little mini set, and then you're done. Then you rest a normal amount of time, and potentially you can do another Myo Rep set if you want. That's your game. You can do as many of those as you want. Remember, they catch up quick. So my recommendation is this. The first time you ever try Myo Reps, just do 1 break and just do 2 total sets. That means you do like 17 reps, rest 3 to 5 seconds, do another 5. What you'll have is, let's say it's, what weight are we doing here? 20 reps. You're not that strong on the cable overhead tricep extension. And you did 17 reps and then 5. So that's 22 total reps. So we just go in and we hit 22 here, but it's a Myo Rep 1 break. So you know that you got 22 reps with 1 break. So next week, whatever the weight's going to increase, the reps might increase a little bit. You still get 1 rep break to hit this number. So you can have that in mind. And if you want to do another set, you just add a set. Same applies, Myo Rep 1 break. And let's say there you got a total number of reps over 2 sets that was like, you got just like 8 and 19 reps, and then that's it. Then you know. Those are Myo Reps. Related, which is why it's 6 or 7 modalities, are Myo Rep Match Sets. Myo Rep Match Sets is when you do the first set as a straight set. So let's make sure we label this in our note. I'm just pretending we're going to do this now. Myo Rep Match. And that's all you have to say for Myo Rep Match, which is why it's a really cool training modality, in my opinion. I sort of invented it, I guess. Børge Fagreli from Norway definitely was the one that coined the Myo Reps term. And generally, this all falls under rest pause. It's all rest pause training, technically, but there's specific ways to do rest pause. So if I say I use 20 pounds and I get 16 reps on a first straight set, and then I rest a normal amount of time, what the fuck are the Myo Reps? Hold on a sec. The Myo Reps start after the straight set. The first set in a Myo Rep match scheme is a straight set. The second set is going to be auto-targeted. You're going to put in ahead of time when you're using your app, 16 reps. Now, hold on a second. How can you guarantee you're going to do 16 reps? Don't you get tired and only do 14 and then you're like, fuck, I had to change it to 14? No. Because if you get tired and stop at 14, You rest for 3 to 5 seconds, and then you hit another, whatever number of reps takes you to that first reps number. So it's 16 and then 16 again, which could be 14 and 2. Or you got lucky and get 16 again. However many Myo Rep Match Sets you do is going to be done with the same weight to the same number of reps every single time. And here's the kicker. As you get more tired as you go, the number of Myo Rep breaks it takes per set to get to that first total number increases. So I might be able to get to 16. Well, I'm definitely getting 16 in one set in the first set. In the second set, it's going to take me 2 mini sets to get there, 14 and 2. In the third set, it might take me 3. I might get to 10, and then I get 4, and then I get 2. That is a whole crap load of approaches to failure in just 3 sets. It's like 6 approaches to failure in 3 sets. That's very, very stimulative. Careful with these Myo Rep Match Sets because they can nuke you. If you do Myo Rep Match on like stiff-legged deadlifts or something, you may never walk again because it's way too much stimulus, too much volume because it's 16, 16, 16 or whatever thing you got the first set. And it's a crap load of approaches to failure. So the relative effort on average is insanely high. Myo Rep Match is an excellent, excellent tool for muscles that just seem to be able to handle a beating and need a ton of volume. For me, those muscles are side delts, rear delts, if I'm ever even training them, though most of the rear delt training comes from back work, forearms, forearm curls, biceps. Sometimes people's calves can take a huge beating. This way, you are taking normal sets, quote unquote, to get there, but each one has so much a failure approach in it. You get cooked insanely high amount of stimulus. And again, when you start doing these, start with 2. Unless you really know yourself well and you've done these before, then when you're doing the Hypertrophy app, you can start with however many you know already works. All right. Lastly, supersets. There are a few different types of supersets. The Hypertrophy app here can do all of them, but there's generally one that's very, very good for hypertrophy and one that's good for what I would call adult fitness or saving time in the gym. You can do supersets that are adult fitness, and those are pretty simple. You generally pick muscles that are agonist, antagonist. So we'll just build one now for shits and giggles. Let me see here. I'm just going to go and scroll up top and add an exercise. And it says, hey, you're adding a lot of exercise. Recommended max is 8. The app will tell you fun stuff like that so you don't do too much and just do a bunch of junk volume. But hey, I'm just testing it out. Stay calm. So I go biceps. And then I'm going to do cable curls, and I will repeat until the end. And I'm going to add that exercise, so that's dope. And I'm going to scroll down. So now I have cable overhead tricep extensions and cable curls. And I'm doing 3 sets of each for the superset. The reason I'm doing cable curls is because I want to save time. I'm going to do overhead tricep extensions. I'm going to rest basically not at all. I'm going to switch to cable curls, and I'm going to hit as many cable curl reps as I can. Then I'm going to rest a normal amount of time, even maybe like 30 seconds to a minute or so, a little less than normal, because while I'm cable curling, my triceps are actually resting. And so as long as these exercises aren't too fatiguing to the system, if they are, you get a great cardio workout. What you end up getting is you get your whole arm trained, biceps and triceps, in a very short time. So you do tricep extensions, no rest, cable curls, rest 30 seconds, back to tricep extensions, set 2, cable curls, set 2. How do you know that these are supersets? Well, you just use the notes function, the ever ubiquitous notes function, and you say superset with cable curls, update. Okay, so we have that labeled. And then superset, I can't type. Typing is hard. Superset after try extensions, update. And then now I know when I look next week into this, I go cable tricep overhead. Oh, it's superset with cable curls right here. And this supersets for tricep extensions. Perfect. So as I go through, let's say I get, again, weird example, 20 pounds for 16 reps. I hit OK here. And then as soon as I go and do 10 pounds, this is embarrassing, for 6 reps, that was a nasty superset. Then I click this green check mark. I think other stuff could come up. Nope, no questions for now. And then I know that I've done both of these. This is what I would do in my 30 seconds rest. Then I come back, do another set, check it in, and it just does it like that. So every single method or modality of training you can do with the tiniest amount of labeling with the app. Now, as we develop the Hypertrophy app, which we'll develop for its entire lifetime, I think, we're probably going to make shortcuts to make this stuff easier. But as you can tell, it's already pretty goddamn easy. And not only this, but because we have the notes function, you can add and delete any exercises you want. You can add as many sets of different weight as you want and subtract them. You really have carte blanche to do all kinds of stuff that I might not even thought of. And we really did design the Hypertrophy app to be what we call a universal program builder. For Hypertrophy programs, it can build anything you want. It can build as many days as you want to the plan, any modalities that you want, anything at all, and it'll function every single time exactly to spec. It just makes your training life way easier. So, folks, get down there, right in the top link in the description, sign up for the training app. It will be here very soon. People are already testing it out. The beta release has already occurred. Hopefully, this video is recorded a little bit beforehand, but hopefully that's already happened. People hopefully love the app. Hopefully they're addicted to it. Hopefully they've left their families to spend more time with the app. Isn't that crazy? People, get your priorities straight and get 2 apps. Get 2 accounts so that I can get more money with Lamborghinis. You guys know the rest. Next time, next week, next Tuesday, we will come back and have another chat about how to optimize your technique in your hypertrophy plan to make sure your joints are safe over the long term to promote joint health, changing exercises, and we'll demo the app again. Folks, see you then.